What if the secret to discipline wasn't about willpower or struggle, but something much deeper? Let me tell you story. In a quiet monastery high in the mountains, a young man named Kavi approached his teacher, Master Tenzin. The morning air was crisp, and the distant sound of a temple bell echoed through the valley. Kavi bowed deeply. "Master," he said, "I seek to understand the true meaning of discipline." Master Tenzin studied him for a moment, then gave a small nod. "If you truly wish to learn, then for the next 100 days before the sun rises, carry water from the river to the monastery." Kavi was confused. "That's all?" "That is all," the master replied. The challenge begins. For the first few days, the task seemed easy. Kavi walked down the steep mountain path, filled 2 wooden buckets with cold river water, and carried them back to the monastery. His arms ached slightly, but he dismissed it as minor discomfort. By the 10th day, the journey became more difficult. The buckets felt heavier, the climb steeper. His shoulders burned, his legs trembled, and his hands blistered from the rough wooden handles. By the 20th day, frustration crept into his mind. He began questioning the purpose of this endless labor. One evening, exhausted and irritated, he approached Master Tenzin. "Master, I have done as you asked, but I fail to see the lesson. Carrying water is not teaching me discipline, it is just tiring and repetitive." Master Tenzin smiled gently. "Then do not carry water tomorrow." Kavi was relieved. The next morning he slept in for the first time in weeks, but when he awoke, he found the monastery's water jars empty. The monks had no water for tea, for cooking, or for their morning prayers. A wave of guilt washed over him. His task had never been just about carrying water. It had been about service, responsibility, and perseverance. Without hesitation, he picked up the buckets and set off for the river. From that day forward, something shifted in Kavi. He no longer carried water with resentment. His steps became lighter, his grip stronger, and his breathing steadier. The task that once felt exhausting became effortless, even meditative. By the 60th day, he no longer thought about how much farther he had to walk. He no longer noticed the weight of the buckets. His mind was no longer filled with complaints. The path he once saw as an obstacle had become part of his daily rhythm. He realized something important. Discipline is not about suffering. It is about consistency. It is about doing what must be done, regardless of how one feels. On the 100th day, Master Tenzin met him at the river. The morning mist curled around them as the master watched Kavi fill the buckets. "What have you learned?" Tenzin asked. Kavi looked at his hands, once blistered, now firm and steady. He looked at the mountain path, once exhausting, now effortless. He looked at the water, once a burden, now a source of purpose. "I have learned that discipline is not about forcing myself to struggle," Kavi said. "It is about showing up every day, even when I don't feel like it. It is about commitment, about mastering my mind, not just my actions." Master Tenzin nodded. "True discipline is not a punishment, but a path. It is not a weight that burdens you, but a practice that strengthens you. When you master yourself, nothing else can control you." At that moment, Kavi understood. The lesson had not been in the water, or the buckets, or even the path. It had been in him all along. From that day forward, Kavi embraced discipline not as an obstacle, but as a way of life. My dear friends, discipline is not about suffering or mere repetition. It's about showing up day after day until what once felt like a burden becomes second nature. True discipline isn't a punishment. It's the foundation of freedom and mastery over oneself. Where in your life are you resisting discipline, seeing it as a struggle rather than a path to strength? Commit to one small daily practice, something simple yet consistent, and watch how it transforms you. Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's grow together.